Hawk Sports fans, welcome back to the channel. We got a phenomenal interview for you guys today. I told you guys we're coming different in 2026. We're going to keep bringing bangers to you guys. This one has been a long time in the making, though. I'm not going
Yeah.
to lie to you guys. This one has been a long time in the making. Me and my boy Archie, we have been communicating. I swear to God, probably on and off like for 4 months now. So it's an honor for me to have him on here today. A lot of people that you haven't had on the interview yet, they're going to ignore you. They're not going to message you back. Archie's been the complete opposite of that, though. Very, very,
Yeah.
very respectful guy. Like, I cannot explain that enough. In this MMA world, guys, it's not always like that out here. Archie's been a real one, and that's why we're here today. So, Archie, it's good to finally have you in front of my face, brother. I'm glad we get on here and chat it up, man. And I'm pumped to have you on here, bro.
Oh man, thank you. Yeah, thanks for the introduction. Yeah, like I'm sorry that we couldn't make it work earlier. There's probably like four times that we tried to make it happen, and then something happened last minute. I'm like, sorry, bro. And it happened like a couple times in a row where I'm like, dang, this dude probably thinks I'm like just ducking him. But no, life comes at you sometimes, but I'm never like trying to be that kind of person that's just like too cool or too good to like talk to people and like get to people.
Exactly. And we did run into that last night. Me and Archer just talking about it. Big X the plug thought he was too cool to take a picture with me. He probably is too cool to take a picture with me, guys. I mean, he's Big X the plug, he's the GOAT. But Archie's been the complete opposite of that. So like I said, this has been a long time in the making. Me and Archie have been boys for a minute. I've been making like photos for this dude. We've been, just supporting each other for a minute. So it's been a complete opposite of that. So Archie, I can't thank you enough for the communication, brother. And it just shows, the type of person you are outside the
My
octagon.
man, I
I know you're a
appreciate
big
it.
guy, and like you said, life gets going sometimes, especially whenever you got kids. Like I don't got kids yet. I'm probably gonna have kids one day, but
Yeah.
once you get kids in your life really starts to speed up. Then, so I always start off every interview off with, "How are you and your family currently doing, man?"
Yeah, good question. I mean, we're good. So I have, my two boys. They're 4 and 2, almost 3. And then we just had our first daughter 2 weeks ago. So our family's
So
growing. My wife is healthy. My girl's healthy. My boys, they're doing good. My oldest son, Q, he just started wrestling, like coming into practice. So, man, we're doing really good. Like, it's nice to have a little bit of downtime to enjoy the holidays and the family time and let all this come together and let my body heal a little bit, and just get ready for what's to come in 2026 for fighting. But my family, man, we really can't complain. We're blessed. It's been good.
let's go, bro. I mean, it sounds like you guys had an awesome holiday season with a little bit of an extra taste there. With you having your first
Yeah,
daughter. So congratulations on that. Was she born
yeah.
on December 26th, if I remember correctly?
26th, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, let's go,
yeah,
man. That's hey,
yeah.
look at my ball knowledge, guys. See, I'm even paying
Good
attention
job.
outside.
Yeah,
Come on
yeah,
now. Come on now. So that's awesome. What a Christmas miracle right there. The only unfortunate thing with her being born on December 26th is now you guys have to give Christmas presents on the 25th. Birthday presents are then going to be on the
I
26th.
know. Oh
Might be
no.
running the wallet a little bit there, 48 hours, but what a great time of year to have your first daughter, man. Congratulations to you guys. I'm so happy for you. And you've had this, it's just perfect timing. You're out in Colorado. You got Shadur Sanders, that's where he's from. It was perfect timing for everything,
He
man. So
said,
love to hear that, baby. Perfect timing. I wish I had on my better watch right now, but we got on the Apple Watch. Anyway, man, you were just talking about, your 2026, but I do
yeah,
want to step back a little bit, because like I said, me and you have been in contact for so long. I've been following your journey, even before we started messaging. You had a fantastic 2025, got two huge victories to set yourself up for a huge 2026. But I just
yeah.
want to ask now, what were some things over those 365 days in 2025 that led to your success, you think?
Just consistency, man. Like I just since I started training, since I turned really even since I was an amateur when I just first started training and like pursuing this MMA dream, like I've just been consistent. Like I probably take off 1 week after the fight, and then that's about it. And then aside from that, it's like 5, 6 days a week, every single week, you know, at minimum once a day, but normally like 2 times a day. And it's just like done that for like 5 years. And it's just like consistent, 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 consistent. Being a part of people's camps, big, big camps. As people are preparing for world title fights and like I'm obviously there for them, but also there for myself, selfishly. It's like, man, it's a great opportunity for me to like watch world champions work. So then when it's my turn to prepare for my world title, it's like seamless. I know exactly what is expected of me. So it's like I've just been in the gym, like working, and it's in the last every year is just going to be the culmination of the years prior. But this last year, 2025, was just that. Like I knew I know that I'm the best guy in the PFL's lightweight division. And so when I went out there and I dominate these guys, it's like, it's no longer just a surprise or it's no longer like a question anymore. Like, I know where I'm at.
Yeah, man. And I love that answer from you right there, too. We're definitely going to touch on, being able to be around that championship pedigree here in a little bit. But, I think something that often happens, even at not even just the UFC level, I think, across any brand that's at a high level in MMA, like PFL, LFA, even Bellator, like guys, they're not every guy's in there 5-6 days a week. Like there's dudes
Yeah.
taking days off, and I think a lot of people from the, outside perspective that don't really know too much about the game, like you might turn on the TV and you see somebody fighting, but one guy was in camp, he went 6 days a week, but when he was outside of camp, he's probably only going to the gym maybe 3 or 4 times a week. But
Yeah.
that one guy that was already, going 6 days a week before he got in camp, that might have been the difference why that guy came out, victorious. So I love that answer right there from you. And, I think it's very important that, once you do get to the high level of, PFL, you have to be consistent or else you're going to, be unsuccessful. And I think that's why
Yeah.
you're 13-0 right now. And you've got
Yeah.
a very, very bright future ahead of you. But I do want to ask now, speaking of the bright future, you did have 2 fights last year. Like I said, both victorious in both of them. But what does an ideal 2026 look like for Archie?
Man, there's some options out there. I don't know. Like there's obviously a little bit of frustration because these last two fights, I was told I'm the number one contender to fight for the title. It's supposed to be had last year, and then that didn't happen. And then I get kind of jumped again here, so I go win two fights, two number one contender fights, and then I get jumped again. So this is like the third fight in a row. So there's obviously some frustration that comes with that. Um, so my whole goal and job is just to make sure I continue doing what I'm doing and just be dominant and just sell what it is that I am and who I am and what I'm doing. Look, I'm not just 13-0, but I've never lost a round. Like it's not just I'm undefeated in my record in fighting, but I've never lost a round in a fight either. I go out there and I dominate people. I make these guys that are good strikers, and I strike with them as well. It's not like I just take them down and just like hold them. I take them down, I beat them up, and so and like at least you know half of the round we're on our feet as well fighting, and they don't win those exchanges either. So I just dominate people. I make them feel different. Like they you watch them fight somebody else and they're like, man, this guy looks good. And then they fight me and it's like, oh, they don't look that good anymore. And it's not that they got worse, it's that they're fighting me now and it's just different. And I dominate them.
Yeah, and I completely agree right there too. And I think a lot of guys that might have your style of fighting. A lot of MMA fans are like, no, he's just going to take him to the ground. But at least you're doing work on the ground. And the other thing is that you just mentioned, because I was going to speak up and say it for you if you didn't, you do give these guys a chance on the feet that are
Yeah, I
strikers.
like to fight on the
They
feet.
have their opportunity and they
Yeah,
they still aren't successful. So I
yeah,
mean, like what I don't know from like an MMA fan perspective right there. Like what else you're supposed to do? I mean, obviously you've got a great wrestling background. You're great on the ground, but you do damage on the ground, and you give these guys a chance on the feet as well, and they still don't do
yeah.
anything about it. I don't know
Let's
what else.
scrap.
I really don't. Well,
Yeah,
I
let's scrap on the
couldn't
feet.
agree with you right there, bro. I couldn't agree more with that statement. And it's a sad thing about it, guys. If you want to watch, guys just strike the entire time, then you need to watch boxing. Like, I mean, that's
Yeah,
why boxing is the sport it is. You can't take people down. I know Jake Paul was trying to take down AJ last month. You're not allowed to do that though in boxing, guys. Credit
come to MMA.
yeah, credit to him for stepping in there with AJ. He's one of the best heavyweights of all time in boxing. But you can't be doing that in boxing matches.
Yeah,
But if you want to watch guys just strike the entire time, then go watch boxing. If you don't want to see dudes get their ass kicked, then they need to be able to get up and get
Yeah,
away
get
from
your
that.
ass out. Yeah.
That's their fault. I went to the Duplessis and Shemaev event in 319. People were pissed off at Kamzat for wrestling Drakus. Drakus should have been able to get up. That's
Yeah.
not
I mean,
that's
you're a
fault.
world champ. You're a world champion.
Yeah,
You're a
that's
world
not
champion and you can't get up. I mean, that's an
That's,
issue.
that's just how I look at it, though. But I'd like to say I'm a little bit different. Since we're on interviews with guys like Archie Coleman right now. So I mean, it is what it is. But I love that answer from you right there, bro. And I got to ask you now, though, Archie. With us speaking about the PFL, you're dominating dudes right now. You're not getting that title shot. Is there any part of you that you kind of have like a set plan to get to the UFC at some point, or do you see yourself in the PFL?
Yeah, I mean, my whole goal up until, just right now, I mean, currently right now was like I want to come over here and I want to be world champion. I want to win the belt. And not just like win the belt. Since I've been like pursuing it, Usman's been the champ. So I want to take the belt from him. I want to beat Usman for the belt. It's not just like beat somebody else for it or be that champion. I want to beat him for the belt. So that's been like my goal, what I'm chasing this entire time. An uh undefeated, undisputed world champion versus an undefeated contender. Man, how do you not sell that? So like that's been my goal the whole time. UFC obviously has its sexy appeal as well. There's a lot of appeal to being in the UFC. And obviously I'm a human, so I'm appealed to that as well. But my goal has been set to do this. So that's what I'm focused on at the time being. And if things were to change, then I'll shift gears and adjust like I need to.
Yeah, and I hope you do get that fight because it's like you said, man. I hate when these promotions in MMA they just kind of stall these contenders at the top.
Yeah.
And it's really unfair. I think perfect example that happened recently. Sean Brady went to England, just made Leon Edwards look absolutely stupid, and then he's sitting there at the top, and then they feed him Michael Morales. I don't think
Yeah.
there's a guy like Michael Morales that's going to come out and just, do something to you like that to take you off your spot. But I think it's really, really stupid that these promotions, they just kind of hold guys at the top sometimes because,
Yeah.
there's only so much you can do. You either win the fight or you lose the fight. So if somebody continues to win, you got to give them that opportunity eventually. And
Yeah.
I think it's a fantastic matchup there between you and Usman, USA versus Russia. I really don't know what else you'd want right there, man. You got the
I know.
Dagestan style wrestling, you got the American style wrestling. Like, let's
I
do this shit.
know.
Let's
Undefeated, undefeated. I don't know how yeah, exactly. I don't know how you couldn't spin that.
yeah, take my money now, man. If it's anywhere near me, or if we can hop on the plane for the weekend and do it, like just go ahead and take my money now, PFL. You don't have to
You
sell that
know,
to
you
me.
know it's gonna be in Dubai. You know it'd
Yeah,
be over there.
that's what I'm saying. They're not going to try to give my boy any home crowd advantage there, which is, once again, that's a whole nother topic we'll get into. But I don't want to get myself in trouble too much here for anybody. I try to be as unbiased as possible, but I do
Yeah,
like to root for my American boys and back them up as well. But Archie, we have talked a lot about MMA so far, man, and I do
yeah.
want to talk about other stuff. We got some cool stuff to talk about,
What we got?
but I got to ask you, man, is there any New Year's resolutions that you have that are non MMA related?
Um, yeah, yeah, for sure. Like, um, I'm a family man, like we've talked about before. So, um, my kids are getting older, so I want to do like a better job and just be, more present with them and like help them start to really figure out life. Like my 4-year-old man, he's becoming a person, really quick, and he's really figuring things out, and he's gonna definitely need more and more of my guidance as he gets older to like really structure and walk out through this world. And then just continue growing my faith in God as well. That's one of my resolutions for sure. Is I don't think in my whole life, like page to page, front page to back page, I don't think I've ever read the Bible in full. So just getting through and like start reading into the word deeper and just growing my faith in God. It's also been important to me, like as my kids have come into my life and start to grow, it's like, whoa, man, I need to really like put myself in this foundation of God so then I can force this upon my not force this upon my kid, but put them in this and let them grow into this strong foundation and not just like put it on them, but also understand why it is that it's important and teach them why um, that we live that way.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro. I love that right there. And I'll go ahead and admit it right now. We'll show the chain a little bit. We got the cross. Yep, we'll
Yeah.
go up on the suit a little
I
bit
don't
right
got
there.
mine on right now, but I got mine with me always.
I was gonna say he's got his on his bicep. I'd probably have one on my bicep too if mine was a little bit bigger, guys. You can't see it. Yeah, mine's not as big as Archie's, obviously. So if I do get bigger biceps one day, I might have to copy off Archie, but I don't think
Yeah.
sniffing that. But going back to what you just said, man, that's awesome. I love those New Year's resolutions. I'm gonna go and admit it right now on camera as well. As a Christian man myself, I have not read
Yeah.
the Bible front to back page before either.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things that you could do to help yourself out with that. I think life does speed up, like we were talking about earlier in this interview, and it can be very difficult to maybe sometimes throughout the week sit down and read every night. Some of us were going, to the time we wake up till the time we lay down, and then it's lights out because you're so tired from the day.
Yeah.
But I think something that I'm gonna look to go to, and I don't know if you've ever got ads on it. I think I'm gonna download one of those apps to where it has like a different Bible verse on your lock
Yeah,
screen
bro.
every hour. I
Yeah,
think that
look at that.
I think that would be a great way for me to be
Look,
able to do.
if you can see, look at the Bible widget. I got that.
Oh, let's go. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. So, when did you download that and has it helped you I guess just kind of feel better because sometimes I'll go to bed at night and I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot to pray." I always try to make sure I
Yeah.
pray before I go to bed every night.
Yeah.
But I think having something like that would be really good and just for me, being a Christian man, it'd make me feel a lot better about myself. So, what do you think, that widget kind of does for you? Because I'm definitely looking into that.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, like you just get like it's a whole different like notification sound too. So it's like the first time I got it, I was like, what is that? And I looked at my phone. And then when I looked at my phone, it said like, some like a small Bible verse or like sometimes it's not even verses. Sometimes it's just like statement, like, you know, God wants you to work hard. God is with you. Something like real simple. And it's just like refreshing to like look at your phone and be like, oh, okay, yeah, let's go. Let's continue doing whatever it is that I'm doing. Sometimes it's just like a refreshment.
Yeah, that's dope right there. And I think you probably just sealed the deal for me right there. I think we got to download that whenever I get off the interview because I've been getting so many ads about it, man. I mean, you know how it is on Instagram. You can't scroll anywhere nowadays without you getting ads thrown upon you. I mean, the
Yeah,
MMA ads I get and widget ads like that for the post I like. I mean, they're insane. So I'm glad I
yeah,
get them though. I'm not sitting here complaining about those ads at all. But it's definitely, I think it's time for me to do that. So I appreciate you showing us that on camera, bro. That's dope. I'm
yeah.
glad we,
Yeah,
that.
I got it like right at like New Year or somewhere around that time. Like I was like, man, if I'm gonna start reading the Bible more, this would be a good way for me to at least get myself, maybe if I'm not reading it, at least get myself deeper into the word and
Yes,
baseline. And then I got this. I'm like, okay, well, this is like a good little foundational start, and I could continue to build off of it.
that's dope, bro. I love to hear that. And I'll probably be texting you about that too. I'll figure out what
Yeah,
app, I'll probably get the same app as you. So we'll get connected
yeah.
on that after here. So that's dope, man. I appreciate you sharing that. And
Yes,
anytime I
sir.
got a guy on here that's big on his faith, I love to talk about that. I think it's something that often gets forgotten in sports. So that's really
Yeah.
dope. And I appreciate you sharing that, brother.
Yes,
But
sir.
now to the fun part, guys. We got to let Archie get through our rapid fire portion, and I'm trying to bring some heat to you guys. Last year, I felt like I could have done better with talking about current topics and not just random, rapid fire stuff. So we got some current topics, and we're starting off
Okay.
with a hot one. While this interview is going on right now, we got the
Okay.
Chargers and Patriots going on. I have no idea what the score is, but that game has absolutely sucked. There was only 3 field goals kicked at the time whenever I walked in here to send Archie the link to get him on here. So that game has sucked, but everything else has been awesome. So Archie, I got to ask you, man, what is your Super Bowl prediction?
Man, I am honestly not the best football fan to ask these questions to, but I am from Denver, so you know where I'm going. You know who I'm rocking with. I don't care who else
Broncos
is in
is
the
one
final.
seed.
Exactly. I don't care who else makes it to the Super Bowl, but as long as the Denver Broncos make it, let's go 303.
Let's go, man. Let's go. And I mean, they've got a great opportunity to do it. they unfortunately have to play the Bills, which I think that is probably the hardest matchup. Even though they're the 1 seed, it's
Yeah.
very unfortunate the Bills are the 7 seed. But the Broncos, I mean, it's really tough. And I think that's something else I probably should have mentioned earlier. You guys, it's mile high for a reason. The cardio is just different out there, man.
Yeah.
So when teams come into town, to play the Broncos, it's a little bit different up there. And the same thing for you guys in fighting. You guys training in Colorado. I think that's why the cardio kind of helps you guys in fights. It brings out that dog in you, and then other people might be gassed, and you guys look like, you haven't even broke a sweat. I remember like when Usman knocked out Masvidal. Usman
Yeah.
like hadn't even broke a sweat yet, dude. And Masvidal, you could just see all the sweat fly off his face. I mean, obviously
Oh yeah.
he got smoked in the face, right? So that's going to happen. But I mean, he was just sweating so much already, and Usman he looked like he just freaking walked out the front door to start his day. It's crazy, crazy. So that's funny right there. But yeah, man, Broncos could do it for sure.
Let's go.
Bo Nix has got something brewing out there, and the defense is
But
spectacular.
even if okay, let's say the Broncos did lose, I would be okay with the Bills because Josh Allen, former Wyoming Cowboy, we graduated the same 2018 class. Like we graduated together, we went to school together. So if he was to go on and win it, I'm not mad at it. But first pick is definitely Denver Broncos.
That's dope, man. Well, I know you're gonna be tuning into that one. I'm so mad at myself because I forgot that you went to Wyoming. I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that you went to Wyoming, and I thought you did end up graduating with Josh Allen. So that's dope. I know you'll be watching that this coming weekend. But Archie, I gotta ask you too. This is one that I've actually asked in every interview so far that I've had in 26 because I think it's such a fun question. There's so many different directions you can go with it. What's a fight that you want to see? It doesn't have to be the PFL. It could be a UFC. It could be any fight you want to see. What is a fight that you want to see this year in 2026 that doesn't involve yourself?
Ah,
that's where the trick comes in at.
That's where you get people. That's where you say it doesn't involve yourself.
Get it right there.
Oh man.
Like an easy one to be able to say Justin versus Patty because he's freaking fighting Patty for the belt in 2 weeks. I mean, that's like an obvious one because Justin Gaethje, I mean, one of your, good friends from what I can tell, big time sparring partner, always in the gym together. So like that's an obvious one. I feel like
that's an obvious one, but that one's already happening. I gotta pick one that's like not booked yet. So hopefully that gets booked. Something like I mean Kamaru as well. He's close with me. I'd like to see him in Islam. I really would.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him in Islam fight.
I like that pick right there from you. And oh man. Yeah, I can't get in trouble for this because I'm Max Warren. I'm not I'm not under any contracts or anything like that. I believe Archie, I think that fight's already booked, but it's not announced. I think that's the main event in Miami in April.
Oh, really?
So I'm not trying to get you in trouble though. I don't know what you know, but you don't have to say
anything
because we're recording right now.
How do you know that?
I've got a very good source. I cannot reveal who that is on camera right now.
Fair.
But I am very confident that is the main event for UFC Miami 327, Usman versus Islam.
Ooh, let's go.
From what I'm hearing,
lit.
That's a legendary fight, man. I'm actually looking to go into that because I told you, I'm Midwest, South, whatever you want to call it.
That's an easy fight for you.
The Indiana, Kentucky borderline. So, if a card's in Miami, I can get a flight and go down there for the weekend. And those cards are always spectacular down there for the UFC. They always put on a show. But, I mean, dude, that's the GOAT versus, I guess the new gen GOAT. I hate to say that because, with the Usman thing going on with you and him and got to watch wrestling. I'm very patriotic too, but it's kind of the new gen GOAT versus. I mean, Kamaru is the GOAT of the welterweight division. So I would personally love to see that fight as well. I like that pick from you, brother.
Yeah.
So I hope it happens. So I hope that's another championship, camp right there, right in front of your face. That's more championship pedigree. I can only imagine how much the media is going to be, for that fight right there. That's a big fight, brother. Big time.
Yeah, I'll stick with that one. Those are the fights. John Jones versus anybody is always lit, but for sure, That one
Let's
would
go,
be good.
man. Let's do it. New Gen GOAT versus the GOAT. Let's do it. April
Yeah.
11th, UFC Miami. Let's do it, man. Make it
Dang, how
happen.
does this guy? How do you know all these details before me like this? We're gonna have to
I
talk.
know people. I know some people, man.
I
I know
feel you.
some
I
people.
don't know people. I
But
know
you
people
you
who
know
are,
you really know people though. You
and I don't
really know
even know that. All right,
you
let's go.
know people though. So I don't know. Maybe this might be a conversation you'd Kamaru have tomorrow. If I'm right,
Maybe.
awesome. If I'm wrong, one for me wasn't for my dome, so I can at least point the finger somewhere else. But going on to the next one, there, I love. Like I said, I can't agree more with your picks tonight, dude. Normally somebody comes on here and I'm like, oh, I don't know about that, but man, I've really agreed with everything you've said so far. And I think I'm going to agree with you on this one. I think everybody kind of has the same thing to say about it, but I think it's such a funny question to ask. So on New Year's, I know you were
Uh,
very busy. You know, you just had your daughter. Not sure how much you're on social media. We go to bed after the ball drops, Archie. We wake up the next morning. I refresh my Instagram and I see a picture of Tracy Cortez and Alex Pereira posted up. And I'm like, hold on, bro. This has got to be AI. There's no way that this is real.
Me
And I go,
too.
it's real. It's real. But the thing is, they dated for 9 days. So, Archie, what it's like Alex Pereira used this 1 week trial and he had to cancel the subscription before he got charged again, brother. What's
That's what
going
I
on?
heard too.
What's on
I
this?
s- I see people talking about that. They're like, man, his 7 day trial ran out. I think that do you see that one video that she posted of them on the airplane and she's like something about marrying him? That he was like all they said was Shama. But you know damn well that Shama, whatever Shama really means, that Shama was like, what the fuck? So
Dude,
I think she asked him like she was talking about marriage and stuff, and he was like, bro, we 8 days in. What are you even talking about marriage? And then he's like, yeah,
yeah,
let me cancel this subscription real quick.
man, I couldn't agree more with that. You know, I don't have something red beside me right now, unfortunately, but it's a red flag there, folks. You know, you gotta ease yourself into the relationship there. I know it made huge headlines. I'm sure you know Alex did actually mess with her, and she obviously messed with him. But
Yeah,
I think stuff might have been taken off too quick. You know, you gotta let Poetan get his sleep, man. If he's waking up from a nap, you know, because you're asking him to marry him after dating for 8 days, that's probably not gonna make the man too happy. If I had to imagine, I don't know him, but that's just what I think from the outside perspective. So I
yeah.
agree with you on that, brother. I'm probably going to continue to ask that question on here because I think it's just really funny to talk about. But
I think like celebrity dating is hard, man. I think you got to keep it secret until you guys are like real strong. Otherwise, I think celebrity dating's hard because there's going to be so many people with their input on thinking about it. Like if you're dating somebody, who cares who you're dating, really? You know, if I'm dating somebody, who really cares who I'm dating? But like when you get to like a big celebrity status and everybody wants their input on what you're doing, it is hard, man. I can only
it's
imagine how hard that is.
yeah, I think going back to who you mentioned earlier, I think Josh Allen did it perfect. I think they did it perfect. They were already so far into their relationship, and now she's
Yeah,
already pregnant. You know, I mean, it's really went by quick for them. I don't know if they're married yet or not. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure, but
yeah,
they kept that a secret for a while. So I think that's kind of how you do have to roll. I do agree with that. I think having a celebrity relationship where you got two people of very high status, I think it does make it difficult. So
for
I'm very
sure.
glad I don't have to deal with that. Very, very blessed I don't have to deal with that because that seems like
Yeah,
an absolute headache,
yeah.
bro. Absolute headache. But Archie, I got to ask you now, man. We've talked about all the different guys you're around on a day to day basis, but what is another athlete you can go outside the MMA world for this one if you want. But what's an athlete that you kind of think is pretty cool, or somebody that you've looked up to, or somebody you're like, okay, like I'd probably get along with that guy. Is there an athlete that kind of sticks out in your mind that you'd like to just get with for a day? Maybe make some content, collaborate with them, get to have like a session with them in the gym. Is there an athlete that sticks out that you'd want to get to do that with?
Yeah, probably Jordan Burroughs.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I mean, he's been ever since Jordan Burroughs, first of all, ever since Jordan Burroughs started becoming who he is, before he won or on his way to like winning his first national titles in college, like people were coming up to me, it was like, bro, you look like that Jordan Burroughs guy. And I was like, what? As a kid, I was all excited. And now people still come up to me and like tell me that. And I don't now I'm like I'm a grown man, you know. I'm like, bro, don't talk to me about that. Like I don't look like that. But he's always been like a guy that I've like admired as an athlete, as a wrestler, try to mimic my style off of that and like take inspiration from the style the way that he wrestled and like try to implement that into my own game. Kind of the way he lives his life and like walked life, so yeah, he's definitely in the short list of athletes that I'd be like, yeah, that's somebody I'd like to collab with, learn from, spend a day with, train with, pick their brain, talk about some situations, things that they've done, how they've maneuvered through situations that I maneuver through, see if they would have done it differently, and just really like, pick the brain and like figure that stuff out with them.
That's sick, man. And I like that. I like the answers that, like a young Archie, to be able to
Yeah.
like sit on a podcast and say that and then, eventually, maybe get to meet him one day. Like that'd
Yeah.
be so sick.
Oh, I've
Like
met him.
the young oh, you have met him?
Oh
You
yeah,
have
I met him a few times. Yeah.
okay, okay. I didn't know if
Yeah.
okay, so you were
He
just
he
like
coached against me when I was at Wyoming. He was coaching Nebraska, and he coached against me. So like, oh,
oh,
we like know of each other. Well, he knows of me,
oh,
like,
okay.
and like
Okay.
obviously I know of him, but yeah, like never got the chance to like chop it up with him and like
Really
talk
sit
about him
down and
like
talk.
that. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Well, that's dope, though. I mean, like I said, I think young Archie like to be able to have the opportunity to like sit down and talk to him. Like even now, like that'd be so exciting, and that's
yeah,
cool that you did get to compete against him. It's kind of one of those things like your idols become your rivals. Obviously, you weren't wrestling against him, but
yeah,
you had to compete against his boys. So
yeah.
that's how that stuff goes. It's crazy how the world works like that in sports, man.
It
It really
is.
is. But Archie, my final one I got for you. I think this is a pretty obvious one. We've already brought this up during the interview, but if you want to just kind of walk us through those 48 hours, I'm going to ask you if it's not it for some reason, then maybe I'm wrong. But I wanted to ask you what your favorite day of 2025 was.
Favorite day of 2025?
Yeah.
Man, uh, I don't know. I had a lot of good days in 2025. I guess ending it, like, the way that it kind of ended. Like we had our Christmas and we spent Christmas kind of just normal. And
Okay.
then literally when we finished dinner and then we opened all the presents and we're just like hanging around the house with our kid, me and my wife looked at each other and was like, well, now that Christmas, because really what we didn't want to happen was the baby to come on Christmas or Christmas Eve. And we're like,
Okay.
once we were like done and Christmas festivities had gotten done, we're like, we looked at each other, was like, well, now that this is over, like, she might as well just come now. Then it's like not gonna ruin any of this. And then the next day, damn, it
That's
was
awesome, dude.
crazy.
That's cool, and I appreciate you breaking that down because I knew that was probably gonna be your answer whenever I put that on there.
Yeah,
That's why I purposely did that. I wanted to
yeah,
make sure I, gave you the opportunity to talk about that. So that's cool though. You guys got to have just the normal Christmas like you do every year, and
yeah,
then when it was her time to come out, she came out the next day. I mean, you got
yeah.
perfect Christmas Eve, perfect Christmas Day. Got to see everybody. Didn't have to spend any time in the hospital. It sounds like.
Exactly.
What time did you have to end up going to the hospital on the 26th?
Around 3, probably. So I woke up on the 26th and then I went and trained. And then when I was on my way home, my wife was like, hey, I think today's the day. When I got home, it was like time to go. So then we went and then we got there at like 3 and the baby was here at like 4.
That is awesome. So
It
you
was
even got to
crazy.
have most of your day on the 26th. You even got to have a training session in, man.
Yeah, I went and
Oh,
sparred 5 rounds, saunaed for 30 minutes. Then when I was leaving, she was like, hey, get home. I think this is happening. I said, I'm on my way.
wow, wow, yeah. She's already on the nice list for next year. Then for Santa, then it sounds like if
For
she's already
real.
doing those miracles for you, she lined the day out just for you, man.
For
Just for you.
real.
That's dope.
She's like,
Love
all
to
right,
hear.
my dad's done. Okay, let me get
Yeah,
out of
now
here.
it's my
Let's
time.
get
Now it's
going.
my time to shine. I'm gonna let everybody else do what they need to do. Now it's my time. Well, I love to hear that, man. And like I said, I'm a big family guy, so I'm very excited to hear that for you and your family that everything's okay and you got a healthy family right now because that's what's important in life. So I just wanted to make sure I put that in there as my last question, so you can talk about that a little bit because I know how much it means to you.
Yeah, thank you, Max.
But yeah, man. Archie, I can't let you get off here though without asking the final question. That was the final
Okay.
rapid question. My
Okay.
final question I got for you is: anytime an active fighter comes on here, I'm not going to let them leave without asking them this question. What's
Okay.
your final message to the fans to tune in to continue to watch your journey, not in just the PFL, but just to continue to watch your journey until you're done fighting one day, man?
I think that in 2026, when you're watching for Archie Colgan's fights, I think Archie Colgan's stock is going to jump up a lot this year. So jump in, buy some Archie stock right now, because at the end of 26, into 27, and then 26 and on, 27, 28, 29, man, those are going to be some really great years for me. So it's going to continue to grow this year, but I think it's going to be a really big year in jumping in. So invest in your stocks early.
Let's go, man. You guys heard it. The Hawk Sports Nation team right here. And that's me, myself. I'm the only
My
Hawk
man,
Sports person. So Hawk Sports Nation's already invested. You guys better
big
invest.
dog.
But Archie, I appreciate your time tonight, brother. Guys, this is a Sunday night. It is currently 9:19 where Archie's at, 10:19 here where I'm at. So, I appreciate you taking time out of your
Yes,
Sunday
sir.
night to end the weekend here with us, brother. It was great to chat to you. Hope to have you on here once you get some fight news coming up. And can't wait to see what happens this year, brother. It's going to be a banger of a
My
year
man.
for you.
I appreciate it,
Absolutely.
Max. I appreciate your time. Thank
Yes, sir.
thank you for you know, when we couldn't figure it out 4 or 5 times and being real easy to figure this stuff out with.
Nah, that shit's never personal, guys. And I think that's something I could give to anybody any advice that's watching this interview. Don't ever take shit personal. If somebody's gonna take time out of their day, like Archie, to text you back, no, that shit's not personal. If he can't come on here that day, it's just life's busy, man.
Yeah.
Especially if you get to our age, it's not easy. You're not sitting in a college dorm room, you know, for X amount of hours a day. Whenever you only have 2 or 3 classes in a day, once you become an adult, you don't have too many hours in the day. So if Archie's gonna take time out of the day to text you back, then that means he fucks with you, and we're eventually gonna make it happen. And that's what we just did here for you guys tonight. So I appreciate you, Archie. Can't wait to
Yes,
see what
sir.
happens here, brother. Make sure you guys follow him. I left his hat below. And we'll see you guys next time on Hawk Sports. Appreciate every single one of you guys tuning in. Peace.